What is something you wish that you knew earlier in life about the opposite gender? They are just as insecure as we are. They are just as screwed up as we are. That boobs are heavy as fuck. The fact that women sometimes aren't trying to fix it. There is that nail in the head skit and it's so fucking accurate, but learning to ask, do you want advice or do you want me to just listen, was one of the more important things in having a good relationship. Men may miss the affection from childhood. Like a simple hug, kiss on top of the head or pats on backs or shoulder. Also to hear that someone cares and loves them. If you didn't get one today or in the future, I am sending virtual hugs and top of the head. Don't be a pervy. Kisses to you all. Thanks all. My dad passed some time ago. He was so affectionate as were the men in his family. It was, or still is, so weird to me that this isn't normal behavior for men. In his honor, a big hug, eye contact, kiss on the head and a head rub to you all. I know he would want this and give it himself if he was still with us. Clitoral stimulation is where it's at. How every woman is different and there is no works every time method for having great sex. The only solid advice is to listen and react. I spent a lot of time avoiding conventionally attractive guys, or even guys just generally more conventional, and going for ones who looked and acted more offbeat. After years of this, I learned that being or looking weird doesn't necessarily make a guy down to earth, empathic, humble, or deep. And being good looking or more conventional doesn't mean they will be arrogant, entitled, shallow, or bland. How much confidence attracts them? I just bullshitted confidence at first and it worked so good now I am actually confident. Men are not always up for sex at the drop of a hat. Sometimes you need to work him up. I always assumed they were just raring to go all the time and I got sad and rejected and took it personally if they weren't in the mood. Men are people too and it needs to be taught more. Edit. As one kind Redditor pointed out, actually two but one said it sounded pushy and they're right, sometimes men just aren't in the mood and no amount of working up will change that. We need to respect the word no, from both genders. Edit 2. All genders, not both. Sorry everyone, I'm still trying to unlearn a lot of old behavior. That carnival music and confetti come out of the vagina during orgasm. Their penises float when they lay in a bathtub. Do I wish I knew that earlier in life? I mean I guess not, but it was news to me. That a lot of men feel insecure about themselves. That's why it's good to compliment him often. Men are just as nervous about hitting on you as you're about hitting on them, so don't always expect the guy to make the first move. If you like him, tell him slightly smiling face. From experience, being with my boyfriend for 18 months, I instigated things but he did say he'd always thought I was hot before I ever spoke to him but just didn't want to shoot his shot and embarrass himself. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Here's me and Shy Boy a few weeks ago at Whitstable Beach. In my experience, women don't care whether you do things perfectly, they just care that you made a thoughtful effort. That women are human too. For so long I was scared to approach a woman as a friend because I had an unhealthy expectation that they wouldn't like what I, a guy, like. People are people. Where do girls keep their balls? That straight men want emotional connection and a partner as much as women. In some ways more because they don't have much access to have that type of relationship outside of a romantic one. Straight guys aren't constitutionally commitment phobic, they are just like everyone else who can want to date someone for a while without wanting something more serious. That they don't like when you generalize about their gender. I thought girls were as sex-crazed as boys were, but they just weren't into me. Now in my mid-40s and my wife on testosterone has opened her eyes to a little of what it's like being a man. Iodine monosulfide. Hilarious. My wife is not on steroids. She was gaining weight, depressed etc. Her T levels were literally undetectable. She was brought back up to a little higher than normal for a woman her age, and the change had some pretty humorous effects. My knowledge is the same, don't know shit and I am 25. Edit. Damn 2K upvotes first time, thanks. Becoming confident in who you are and being yourself really is the key. Trying to impress or being somebody you're not is a surefire way to come off as awkward and turn people off. Men who claim to be advocates for women can be some of the biggest sexist assholes dealing with women one-on-one. I do not find that the amount of lip service men give to women advocacy, particularly at work, correlates with how sexist someone is or isn't. I had multiple circumstances in college where I was accused of being a tease, and kicked out of guys' houses or left on the side of the road after I refused sex. Turns out I have autism and, can I come up to your dorm to watch Netflix, was code for, let's have sex, and they didn't actually wanna watch Netflix. That they're individuals and not some other homogeneous group. That majority of men enjoy when the woman is confident and can take on dominant charge, in a sexual manner. Obviously not all, but my experience is, most. They do not want you to help. They want you to listen. They don't want you to play devil's advocate. They want you to confirm their concerns. Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. That boys can be catty bitches too. That women have to think about their safety all the time. That everyone prefers different body styles, and that plenty of people like mine just fine. In high school it seems like skinny was the only way to be sexy. I'm not built to be a size 4, but I'm a sexy size 10, and somebody is going to love it. Can't be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm damn sure somebody's. That kindness, originality, and effortless comfort in one's skin are the biggest turn-ons, and macho bravado is not. That they do in fact poop. That there's a pee hole and not a pee hole. And even that probably isn't anatomically correct. However, it would have saved me an embarrassing conversation with my fiancé at the ripe age of 32. That men are just as capable of deep emotional intelligence and performing emotional labor as women are, but often society sends them a message that they don't have the ability to do that. In reality, emotional labor is a learned skill. I wish I knew men like compliments as much as they do. Everyone likes compliments, but I feel insecure complimenting men as I'm afraid they'll think it's weird or I like them, but I wish I knew how much they loved him earlier so I could have started being comfortable with it earlier. I've also heard men like receiving flowers too, which seems simple but I wish I knew it earlier. I could have supported my men friends and boyfriends so much better way sooner. When it come to romantic stuff, asking things straight up. Can I kiss you? I got rejected multiple times using that, but the girls loved it and praised me for it. Some are still very good friend with me, and they feel safe around me, which is sadly more uncommon than we think, thanks to that. And the fact that I'm not a creep who's gonna try something. If you think it's a how to lower her guard tips, you can go to hell. What do you like? When having sex for the first time. I was praised for it too. So, really simple things they really like, thus improving the relationships, romantic or not, and trust. Not something I didn't already know, but most people underestimate how emotional, insecure they actually are. I compliment my BF's appearance, especially what he's insecure about, e.g. height, weight, and he seemed to regain some confidence. Happiness looks good on him. How to comfort them. Men love compliments too and need them just as much. I wish I'd known that a girl being attracted to you is not an invitation to be vulnerable or understanding and that those things will actually work against you in that situation much of the time. Only give the clit as much attention as it needs. When stimulating the vagina, go for the whole experience. Kiss the legs, labia play, tickle that grundle. And don't be a dumbass, stop increasing intensity like you do when you try to jerk off. Instead, learn how to box breathe, 4, 4, 4, 4, and then focus your rhythm around your breathing. She says she likes that. Cool, whatever you were doing then, start box breathing and nuzzle her as you keep going. Every time I've done this, only great things have came. That in groups of friends that are couples, it's normal that the genders separate at social gatherings. Menstrual cycles. Don't be coy with guys, just flat out tell them what you want, because otherwise they'll never take the hint. It's so much better to just say something than getting upset when your husband didn't clue in. Men cannot always be strong and are rocks. We have to look after them and make it safe for them to cry and be vulnerable. That girl's boobs cannot in fact tune in Tokyo. They actually find me attractive, and a few wanted to date me while I was in high school. I was depressed and oblivious to it. How to satisfy them sexually. I handed out some super lame dickings in my teens and early 20s. They get horny too. That cis straight women actually enjoy having sex and find men sexually attractive.